Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to What's Your Story? My name is Dr. Varun Gandhi. What's Your Story is a web docu-series that follows stories of members of our South Asian community. I'm really having conversations with those members of our community who have awakened to the greater possibility, to the greater reality of life, who have started walking along their spiritual journey, the spiritual path. Thank you for tuning in today. And today, our guest is Satwinder Simone Isser. Satwinder is the creator of Soul Mastery. Satwinder has helped hundreds of women worldwide access their soul's wisdom, clear the blocks of ancestral karma, heal the wounds buried deep in their DNA, and find their true power as spiritually aligned leaders. Raised in India, Satwinder was raised to value her complex and deep roots based in her family's Sikh and Hindu traditions. Her mission is to uproot the damage done by Western appropriation of the Indian culture and empower women from all cultural traditions to take their place on the world stage as spiritual leaders. Satwinder currently resides with her wonderful and supportive family in Ontario, Canada. So thank you guys. Help me welcome Satwinder Isser. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to What's Your Story? Today, our guest is Satwinder. Satwinder, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me to your sacred space online. And I'm really excited to talk and have a conversation today.
And I'm so glad you're here. Again, before we start, love and abundance to you. We always have that, love and abundance. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's our t-shirt, our company t-shirt, love and abundance.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. So welcome to the show. Now I'm just gonna ask you questions and we'll just have a conversation and we'll have fun when
Awesome.
we're at it.
Yes, of course.
So the show is about how we all have stories in our minds. We've created a story either at some point in our life we don't remember, maybe sometimes we do remember, but a lot of the times it's hidden away from us. But it's running as programs in our life. So I want to talk about Satwinder. What is in your life? What is one mindset that has prevented you from achieving that state, or um, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 10 years ago, if we will say, what was my mindset, because that's how story gets created, right?
Right, exactly.
So my not the mindset, but the experiences of my life, since childhood, uh, was was of lack. That I don't have this and I don't have that.
Right.
Everybody else have that and I don't have that. So um, that you can say mindset, but those were real experiences as well. See, that's where I differentiate with other the language of spirituality, right? This was not the mindset. It became the mindset because of the experiences which I have been through from my childhood. Then I got married, and then still the same circumstances, that those were the patterns in my life that was not just going away, whatever, because if you think about it, from India to coming to Canada is a big deal. A girl gets married and, oh, she's going to Canada, but the circumstances were same. What was in India, same thing was here for me. So that was, you can say it was mindset, or you can say from where my story begin when I came to Canada. Then it became more of a mindset, because then I started comparing myself to my cousins, my relatives, like, they are doing that good and I'm not doing that good, even if I'm in Canada, So that was the story that was going on in my mind at that time. So 10, not even 10, I think it's 13 years back, 12 years back.
Wow. So you came to Canada with this scarcity mindset. You were always in lack.
It was not a mindset. I'm gonna again say that because see, there are two different things. One is the mindset that I don't have anything, you know, and then one is the reality that somebody is in poverty, you know. So that's where the new age spirituality I talk about, like, you know, you cannot tell a person who is homeless, you know, that, oh, your mindset is bad, you know. That person has something going on in his or her life that he needs to either needs help, support to come out of it. It is not the mindset is you have everything, but you still have a mind of, oh, I don't have okay, you are living in a rental home, then you're thinking, well, I don't have my own house. That is the lack mindset,
Right.
you know. So that's, I want to just a little correct.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you for clarification.
Sorry.
That's good. No, don't be sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were living in that situation.
Yes.
Coming
Yes.
Canada.
Yeah. I was living in that situation in India in my family. I came to Canada, and then the same circumstances, those patterns, you know, of poverty, of not poverty, but not financially free, you can say, you know, always that stress going on. Um, and then I created that mindset, you know, you can say that, because I started comparing at that time, you know, okay, why me? So I started asking question, why me? You know, why it is me that is don't have this and that, you know. So that created that mindset. My experiences created that mindset, you can say, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then, so when you were, then after that, you were living with that mindset. So your experiences created that mindset.
Yes.
You were living in
Yeah.
that. And then what made you realize that you had that mindset? Like what caused, or like what made you like break out of that mindset?
It is a very I don't know, filmy, you can say, thing that went through when I was, as I said, like, you know, I was questioning myself, like, why me, you know. um because in the back of my mind I always wanted to um somehow help others. I don't know from where that idea came. So I started questioning a lot, you know, inner dialogue. That's what I call now. That was inner dialogue, like, you know, okay, why me? Why I'm having these patterns, you know, that is not going away. What I can do. And then I started, like, you know, listening to Tony Robbins, you know, because in the back of my mind, again, because I wanted to help others, there was a certain constant voice that I need to do something bigger in my life. You know, this is not me. So I started listening to him many years ago. And from there, I went into life coaching. I took the program. I become a certified life coach. And I started my practice. You know, I started working with clients. And from there, while practicing as a life coach, I get to know that my clients need more than coaching. Because in coaching you ask questions and they answer, you ask question, they answer, right? But still sometimes what happens, that client is only answering from the surface, you know. You cannot go deep down, you know, to so that's where I think I answered your question. I'm talking a lot, so
No,
just
that's good.
help me to stop.
No, that's fine. So you, so then you, through your understanding of life, through your experiences, and once you realized, once you got out of your mindset, then you were able to help other people.
Yeah.
You were able to coach other people, but not even coach. Then you created something of your own. Your own.
Yes.
Is that how you created Soul Mastery?
That is how, but before life coaching, before I get into the life coaching, there was a very bizarre, you can say, or I will say, very spiritual experience.
Oh, yes.
I had. Me and my husband started to fight a lot, you know, the arguments and everything that was going on, right? So, so one day he came home with, I'm not sure if you know about Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba,
I've heard. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a big devotee of him. We are, me and my husband, because we had some spiritual experiences with him. So he bring the udi. I don't know what you're gonna call it in English. Uh, so he put it on my forehead, and again I'm saying it's gonna be very filmy and bizarre, but it has changed, shift something in me. And that point I more focused on what I have to do with my life, what I need to do with my life. And I was just what is my purpose, like, it is not this, this is not me. So I had, and that time I had very young kids, like one was 18 months old and one was 5-6 months old, something like that, or something like that.
And when you say this is not you, what was that? Like, what were you at that time that you felt
That
like
the fighting person who was comparing person, when I was comparing myself, not a happy person, not satisfied, with my life, whatever I have. So all that, like, I knew from that this is not me, because I am a um very bubbly kind of person. I always laugh, like, whatever is going on. So I knew who I am, but I was disconnected from who I am, if that makes sense. So I had that awareness within me that I need, there is some misalignment in whatever is going on. So again, one more experience I'm going to share, that one day I was just sitting on my couch in my living room, and my kids were playing on the floor, and I always used to, since my childhood, connect with sky. I always end up talking with sky.
wow.
Yeah, in India as well. Like, if I get upset, I go on the rooftop and just look at the sky and talk.
Wow.
That was my thing. And I was just sitting there, and still, if you will, you can see, if you will observe me, I'm looking at that side more than on the camera, because I can see the window is in front of me and I can see the sky.
Okay.
So that is something, from the beginning, I was like, I connect with Akash. So that is sky, right? So I was just sitting and asking, like, what is my purpose? You have to tell me, you have to make it clear for me. And I think I tapped into that at that moment. And I'm getting chills now into the Akasha, and that's where I saw a figure in the sky, in the clouds. If it can be my mind, it can be, like, whatever you want to say, but that came forward to me, and I just hear the word that I need to help others, very clearly, very, very clearly. It was in the back of my mind before, but that moment, it was like crystal clear. I heard the voice, I saw the goddess, that you need to help others. So that was my turning point in my life. That was my turning point. And I went all teary. I was like, that moment I cannot forget in my life. So that's how I get into life coaching, because I thought that that's going to help people.
Right. Okay.
Because 10 years back, life coaching was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
To become a life coach.
Yeah.
But then again, I started to get flash of images after that, like I used to get it, but then it becomes more and more and more. And then I started to research on, not even research, I don't know from where I found the word Akashic records. And because I connect with Akash, like the sky all the time, I was like, what is it? Let me find out. And then I find out, I went on few workshops. And then after a few workshops and courses, I was like, this is coming from our own tradition. Let me find the roots of it. And then I started reading our ancient scriptures, what it says about Akash, what it says. And then that's where I found out about Panch Mahabhutas, and this is the fifth bhuta, like fifth element. And that's where the clarity came, that I connect with it more. So that's how I created Soul Mastery. That whatever was not there in the realm of Akashic records. So
Wow. So that
long story, but yeah.
oh, that was amazing. I'm so glad I got to hear that part of the story. You know,
Yeah.
I had something similar experience happen to me. I
Oh,
was I was walking in my neighborhood, and at that point, I was also asking the same question. I was in the
mm,
mode of like, there's always been a pull towards business for me, and so
yes,
my entrepreneurship, like the business mentality, but it's more of business
yes.
in terms of like product, like selling products or like import export kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
There was this pull between that versus this higher purpose of speaking. And at that time, I was like just getting pulled on both sides. And so I kept asking myself that question, like, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? And then I heard a voice inside of me clearly say that you are a speaker. It was a feminine voice, and I'd never heard it before. And it said, you are a speaker. And I was like, this
Wow.
teared up, and I was like, oh, whoa, what?
Oh, wow.
And that's like started my journey of just speaking more, going into like Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters about right after that incident,
Wonderful.
actually.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so
I love that. Oh
I
my gosh.
totally relate to hearing that voice and having that experience. I mean, it doesn't matter if it wasn't real for me. If your experience wasn't real for
It
me,
is.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
If I can't comprehend it, it doesn't matter. It was
Yeah.
real for you, and that's all that
Oh
matters.
yeah. Oh yeah. It was totally. And I do believe in the science, in like and especially like because I always connect with the sky and how it uh, in my early, late 20s, you can say, no, early 30s, it came clear why I used to connect so much to sky, why I used to just not even talk to anybody else. People have like friends, best friends and everything. My best friend was always sky. Like I always talk to like my deeper feelings, emotions, whatever is going on. I just used to just, and I now too, I even if I'm talking to you, I'm connecting more to the sky as
Right.
I see. So that's how it make like it was really clear by then. And okay, I need to bring the roots of my own tradition um to learn what it is, how the elements make sense in Vedas, what they are saying, what they are telling us. So that's how soul mastery has been created.
So we'll get into soul mastery just in really
Yeah,
short.
sure.
Before that, I wanted to ask you. We kind of briefly talked over this. You mentioned about a couple tools that you used. You went inside. You went inner reflection, and you started asking yourself some questions. So I
Mhm.
want to talk about some tools, maybe something you used that helped you out during this process. If there was some like a quick tip you can give people that helped you.
Yes. So I was telling you that my husband put udi, like the ash powder, you can say, from Shirdi Sai Baba on my forehead, and from that moment I connected with Baba, more Sai Baba, and I have till now have two of his teachings with me all the time. One is Shraddha and Sabri, means faith and patience.
Okay.
These two things, if you can embody in you, not only learning but embody in you, it makes you, I don't know, a more happy person. It's like you don't and then with working with, of course, Akasha and everything, but with these shraddha and sabri, like faith and patience, to have faith, to have patience, um, just try to learn how to embody that. And it is a practice to embody these two things, because it is very frustrating to be patient.
So how would I go about starting that process, or how would I go about embodying that? What did you do when you were starting this?
I just, you can say, that's where blindfolded faith comes in, your devotion comes in. I am a big believer in devotion. Whatever you do it with devotion. And that's what is missing in the Western spirituality. Whatever they do, the devotion is not here. And in our culture, devotion is everything, right? Devotion is, even if you are praying to a deity, a god, goddess. Even if you're working online, business, if you don't have devotion in there, you're gonna give up if when the things will not go in flow. Right? You're gonna give up. But if you are devotee of that thing, then no matter what is going on, you're gonna keep on going and go.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Like I've started and stopped so many different things because I wasn't devoted to it.
Devoted.
Right?
Yeah.
I was doing it out of fear because I had the scarcity mindset and I felt like, oh, I had to do something to make money. But then I'd start something, my heart wasn't into it. So then I wasn't devoted to it basically, right?
Yeah. So that's what I was to do. I become devotee of these two things, especially Baba, because I had few more experiences with him. I saw him. In dreams and everything, in reality as well, that's another topic, but I become devotee of these two things, faith and patience, and that has served me really, really, really good in my life as well as in business. Like to have faith, to have that faith in yourself, in your team, in your work, what you're creating, as well as have patience, because sometimes as human we want things right now, like give me right now, right? So to have that patience is like, okay, you're working again in our Vedas, especially in Gita. I'm not sure if you follow Bhagavad Gita. I recently started reading again. It says, just do your work, don't think about the fruit of it.
Right.
So that's where the patience come in. You need to be very patient.
Mm-hmm.
So
keep showing up every day and make sure you will do whatever needs to be done today and not worry about what comes tomorrow.
What comes tomorrow.
Do the work today.
Yeah.
So, all right, last question.
Yes.
We've talked about so much about your past and your present. I want to talk about what you're doing right now. Like what are you getting into right
now? I have started teaching how to connect with the fifth element, is Akasha. Okay. Since it's been, I think, 6-7 years, I have been teaching that. But recently, from the past 2-3 years, I have been seeing New Age spirituality that is going on. So it was bugging me how cultural appropriation are going, how people are just appropriating any native culture they want to. So all that, how racism is going on in spiritual sector. Because if you will see and observe, and I want you guys, whoever listening, observe, all the summits in spiritual summits, coaching summits, they are filled with only white people. And for the token, 1 or 2, either black or brown people there. So that is not right. That is not diverse enough, So I came across these things and on my own personal experiences as well, where I got bullied really bad, 3 years back, with 2 very big spiritual women out there. So all that experiences made me just shift how I teach and who I teach. So I'm being very conscious now, very careful who I'm teaching, because I don't want my students to go out there and start appropriating culture and start doing the damage more than healing. So then now this program which I'm bringing, which we are starting on April 5th, the live calls. This have in 12 BIPOC teachers. First of all, BIPOC means Black Indigenous People of Color, Person of Color. So we have 12 plus teachers who are going to teach on different subjects, because my vision is to create a platform where I'm bringing other teachers in, and we have a representation of people of color as spiritual healers, leaders, and speakers. And this is my vision. but it's starting from this program, where I will be, of course, teaching how to connect with Akasha, how to do the deeper soul work with your clients as well as for yourself. So it's a full certification program. Um, you are also going to learn the life coaching skills, because um, there is a really good benefit of knowing how to communicate, how to listen, how to connect with your clients.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that package I'm bringing now. So this is new. The whole package is new. The teachers are new. The content the teachers are bringing are all new. So that is what the Soul Mastery certification is coming along. We have 7+ teachers who are going to teach on business side. How to um, be a leader. How to do your soulful business, how to do email marketing, video marketing, so all that, so that when you are going out of this program, coming out of this program, you have everything what you need.
Wow.
So
You're
I'm
giving
very
them
excited.
healing, but they're also ready for the business aspect, and now you're
Yes.
combining both of that, and
Mhm.
that's the program that you're offering.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
very
we are
cool.
bringing
You're setting
everything.
up people to be successful entrepreneurs from the very first day.
Yes, because that's what I did not find when I was starting, in one place. So I'm bringing everything in one place, so that students don't have to go out and look around, okay, where can I learn this and where can I learn that.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Wow. So thank you so much, Satwinder. This is such a
You're
great
very welcome.
conversation that we had. I'm so glad you were here today.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much for doing everything that you're doing for the for increasing spirituality in this world. It's not for any particular community. It's just for the betterment of community in general, of the world in general.
Of course, thank you so much for inviting me, and it was lovely to talk to you and with your audience. And I hope that people will learn the real spirituality and how to connect within more than outside. You know, yeah.
I like that message. Connect within more than outside. And
Yeah.
that's what has caused all of our distractions are coming from the outside.
Yeah,
Everything
that's
that's
true.
distracting us is outside of us, and it's
Yeah.
preventing us from going inside.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad that you're here doing the work, sharing the load, that all of us are here to bear, so that we could make more people look within than without. So
Thank you.
thank you, Satwinder. Have a
Thank you.
great day. Love
You
and
too.
abundance to you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much, people, for joining me. Thank you, audience. We will again record someone else very soon. Thank you. Love and abundance to everybody.